Hey everyone, Matthew here. This is the final episode of Screenplay Studies, so if you've been along the whole ride, thank you for watching. But I thought that for this final video, I would go over something special to me. So, thank you to me, no one in the comments but me. I chose this one because we're going to be looking at my favorite movie, Scott Pilgrim vs. the World. Scott Pilgrim vs. the World was released on August 13th, 2010, and was written and directed by Edgar Wright. Give a hand for Edgar Wright. I'm a big fan of Edgar Wright. He's one of my favorite directors. Another film that he's known for is Hot Fuzz. When you're seeing an Edgar Wright movie, you know you're going to have a good time. When I think of an Edgar Wright film, it's synonymous with quick cuts. It's synonymous with unique and creative transitions. He just has a very unique way of telling the story that he's written. The film, Scott Pilgrim vs. the World, is adapted from the original graphic novel written by Brian O'Malley. And it doesn't carry over a lot of information from the graphic novels, which I'm also a fan of. But I think it does a good job of condensing it down into one single film. News on the street is that they're making an animated series at Netflix. So if you like this film, and maybe you should look out for that. Yeah, I'm sorry, but this is going to be a video that's very light on the study portion of Screenplay Studies. I thought for the final video I'd just gush over my favorite movie. I'm sorry, you better strap in your butts because this is the last one. So Scott Pilgrim vs. the World is a film about a guy named Scott Pilgrim, who would have thought, defeating the 7 evil exes of Ramona Flowers, the girl he is dating. Interesting concept, I know. What sets this story apart from real life is that, they're evil exes, but everyone has semi-superpowers, and, it's never explained in universe, but it's just, since every character is used to it, that makes the viewer used to it, and I think that's pretty cool. There's a guy who can summon hell chicks, and that's his superpower. There's a guy who's a skateboarder / movie star, and is Chris Evans, and that's his superpower. There's a guy who's vegan, and that's his superpower. And there's a guy that's an asshole, and that's his superpower. Scott is known as the strongest fighter in all of Toronto, where he's native. And that kind of gives him the advantage and a leg up over a lot of the exes. And it's a lot of flashy fights. So Edgar Wright was definitely the right choice for directing and writing this film. So if you remember in the last video, when we talked about the Batman, I went over how I thought Matt Reeves' writing should be considered art, and how we should strive to do that. This week I kind of wanted to expand on that. What I think is probably the most important tip and aspect of screenwriting. So you may have noticed in the previous videos when I was showing screenplays on screen that no 2 screenplays looked at all the same. When you're writing a screenplay, I think the one thing that you should tower above all in importance is injecting your personality into what you're writing. When you're pitching to a streaming service or a broadcasting service, you're not just trying to sell your product or your writing, you're trying to sell yourself. They want to see your personality on the page. They don't want something that's boring or drab or it's just like all the others that they see. They want something that is unique and will make them money, and usually that's unique. Now, people will say that companies like this obviously don't want to stray from what makes them money. Comic book movies are becoming more and more the same. But when we look at the screenplays for those movies, they're all written by different people. And even though the final outcome becomes the same, the writing that goes into it is different from each other. And that's what you want to do. You want to inject some of your personality into what you write. You want your writing to be an extension of yourself. That's why when you read through the screenplay for Scott Pilgrim vs. the World, Edgar Wright's style is quick. It's quick transitions, unique transitions, quick cuts, unique cuts. That's what you see during the screenplay. It's detailed, but it's not convoluted. He gets exactly what he's trying to say out in a way that emulates what is going to be on screen. And that's just the style. So that makes sense. He injected his personality into the screenplay. And I think that's what we should all do. And we should strive to do art. If this was your first screenplay studies, thank you for watching. If you kept up with all of them, even more thank you for watching. This was a lot of fun. I got to talk about a lot of different things that I wanted to talk about. including screenplays. Yeah, got a little sidetracked a little bit. Feel free to like and subscribe and comment if you want. But that's it for me. I'm going to fade away for the final time now. Bye.